Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you for joining us for this informational webinar for EPSD Student Digital Film Festival. We have been doing this now for 8 years, and I'm hoping that we can continue our successful run that we've had over these years. Every year it's gotten larger and larger and larger, so I'm hoping this year we can continue it. Just going to jump right into the PowerPoint slide that you guys see. Just some reasons why we decided to go ahead and kind of split our Film Fest awards ceremony into a secondary and an elementary. The secondary will be this fall, and then we're going to keep our elementary in the spring in May. Just like I said, to go over why we decided, really and truly was because of the size. The number of films that were entered last year were 320-ish for all K through 12. The amount of students who participated from the El Paso area, not just EPISD, did reach about 150. The award ceremony was just amazing last year. We had more people than we even hoped for. Truthfully, we ended up about 1,050, and every seat was filled in that Bowie auditorium. It was standing room only. We ran out of time to show the student films, so we literally couldn't even show as many as we really wanted to fit in our time frame. Not enough of them were showcased, so I think by splitting them up, because this is a student film fest, it's not a film fest for us, it's for them. So one thing that we're going to do is also recognize a lot more films this year than we did last. We just couldn't fit it all in. And the last one is we want the secondary students to be able to enter the UIL film category for possible state recognition. The state of Texas has just recently started their film fest. I think EPSD is ahead of the curve in that regard. So we'll kind of talk about the UIL and what's kind of some of the differences. So some of the information that you can find for the UIL is listed on this particular slide. This link here will take you straight to all the different information that you need, the rules. There's a list of winning films that you can watch and see. Just some of the dates that you need to keep in mind with your group. Doesn't mean you have to do UIL, it's just an option. Kind of like we are asking for an interest participation by October 2nd, they're asking one to see how many would be interested December 1st. It does not mean that you're going to be obligated to do anything December 1st except just fill out some basic paperwork. But by January 10th, they would want the film and the actual documentation sent in. So that would be right when we get back from second semester. The actual entry form does begin on January 1st on their website. So that's where you're going to get most of the UIL paperwork if you decide to go that route. You do not have to if you do not want to. That's totally up to you. You're going to notice a couple of little differences about the UIL compared to us. Just like in UIL athletic competitions, this is split up into small school, large school, just like it is in athletics. So I'm hoping that this will help in some regards get more participation for us for the Film Fest. Is just the idea of maybe getting more UIL to kind of tag team along with this. I know some of the rules are a little bit different from UIL compared to us. They consider a lot of our categories under one. They have what they call a narrative category, which really encompasses our digital stories, a lot of our PSAs, newscasts, things like that. So it's a little bit different, and their time frame is a little bit different than ours. Ours is we only allow 3 minutes for the length because of how many films have been entered in the past. So we just didn't have the time or the manpower really to go through all those if they were 7, 10, 12 minutes long. We just couldn't do that. The UIL allows up to 7 minutes for their narrative category, so that is just a little bit different. But most of the time, a good film that we've seen, you can tell a great story in 3 minutes or less, and I think everyone does a wonderful job in doing that aspect. So I don't see any real big issues in that regard. So now just to kind of talk to you about our EPSD Film Fest. So the first question we get, well, what makes a good film and what is storytelling? So we just kind of found just a basic definition of what national storytelling really defines it as. It's an ancient art form and a valuable form of human expression because story is essential to so many art forms. However, the word storytelling is often used in many ways. And in this case, we're talking using a digital platform, iPads, phones, computers, bunch of programs, anything like that. So it's not just by word of mouth, but now you're using it in a much more creative way. So we're hoping in that regard that we really have pushed the limits of our storytelling. We've seen some very, very good things these past few years. The quality of the films has really increased. We've reached out tenfold to the rest of the districts to join us, and so having them join us has really pushed everyone to make a better product, and it's a really good thing for the kids in the film fest. The storytelling has really upped the game. And so some of the rules that we have, let me go back one slide. I think I accidentally skipped one. Okay, so just a little basics. This fall one is for all students in Region 19, grades 6 through 12, public or private. Schools can participate, does not matter. So if you know of any high school students or you have private school students yourself, you're more than welcome to have them join in. We get quite a few from the private sector, so hopefully we can continue that. This link right here, EPSD Film Fest YouTube channel, has a list of all of our student films that have been entered over the past few years. So if you want to go through and see any film at any category, at any grade level, we have our own YouTube channel, so you can just go to YouTube and search for it, and all the films will pop up. You can just watch what you'd like, and that way you can get an idea of the type of films and maybe get some ideas to help your own students. And some of the rules that we have, the main rule that we really stress is the films may not be longer than 3 minutes. That includes the opens and the credits. And like I said before, 3 minutes is a perfect amount of time to tell a wonderful story, and usually we have to disqualify probably about 10-ish films because they go 3:15, 3:30, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and they're not abiding by that rule. So that's the one rule that we really try to get out on our webinar, but also keep pushing it along with all the people we work with, is the limit needs to be 3. Students may not enter any more than 3 entries. They can be individuals, they can be in different groups, but it only can be 3. We just don't. If we had all the students just entering mass amounts, we would never get through all the films that we have to judge and see and everything like that. The school-age students must be the primary script writers, videographers, artists, editors, and producers of the films. If they need to get some help from parents or teachers, that is not a problem. It's just we need the students to be the main people doing it. It's not a problem getting help from anybody else. It's just this is a student film fest, not an adult mom and dad student and student film fest. So we're trying to eliminate a lot of that, which we really don't have that big of an issue, to be honest with you. You can tell are really good student films. I'll answer that here in a second, Jane. I think some of the rules, I don't have a problem with some of those questions and stuff. I think Julie and Evelyn and Jesus can probably answer some of those as well. Just to continue on, movie trailers cannot be a combination of video and still photos, but cannot strictly contain just still photos. It needs to be an actual videotaping of things like this. It cannot just be pulling images off of Google and then putting it together and calling it a student film. All films must be suitable for viewing by a family audience and appropriate for school. This is one area that we're really going to try to put more emphasis on. We had some excellent film and film technique this last year, and we really did a great job of grading and filming the actual technique and how it was done and things like this. But unfortunately, I think we could have done a better job on that aspect of it's only for a family audience and appropriate for school. So we're really going to kind of clamp down. And what I mean is like scenes of excessive violence, things that go along with that, inappropriate actions among kids, things that you would think, but sometimes you can put it in a way on a film where it really doesn't seem to be that bad, and you're like, oh, family will be okay with that, but we really are going to try to stress and do a better job on that aspect. And the other one that we really have a problem with besides the 3 minutes is students must follow copyright rules. We have the other part that we really had to disqualify films because of not citing things properly by following the copyright rules, limiting to a certain amount on music, citing the images, citing all the different videos and everything else. The kids are just not citing anything, so that's automatic DQ. So I'm hoping those two things, and we've slowly but surely slimmed them down to we really didn't have as many last year as we have in the past. So the sponsors are doing a much better job in that regard. And then the last little bullet, all films created in languages other than English should contain English subtitles. So if they want to do it all in Spanish, fine. If a French class wants to do all theirs in French, that's perfectly fine too. They can be multilingual if you want to make a film more than just one language. They just need to make sure they have English subtitles for the audience or for the judges. Just some real general what will disqualify a film, and just like we've been talking about, is the inappropriate, the over the 3 minutes, not following the copyright credits, things like this. So here are some of the important dates. Each entry must have the teacher sponsor complete the participation form at this particular link no later than Monday, October 2nd. The reason we ask by October 2nd, that gives us an idea of how many people to expect, but also the number of films and also a contact list. Currently, I am bombarding basically 4 school districts with emails about our film fest, and so when this date comes, I just slim it down to a contact of who's interested, and then it kind of gives us a roundabout number for the films to be judged, and usually it's pretty close to what's put down on the interest form, so we really need to have that in by October 2nd. The rest of the packets and the films just need to be sent in by Friday, November 10th. Like I said, that gives you a whole 6 weeks basically of, if you don't start your film and you start it on October 2nd, that gives you basically 6 weeks to finish a film. Everything needs to be due, and we do a great job of getting out information. I try to do a weekly email to all those people who show interest. That way it's not an issue. There will also be instructions how to upload and where to send the packets when that time comes, so you won't have to worry about anything. And this year we're going to have our Film Fest on Friday, December 1st at El Paso High. We've had it at Bowie every year, so in that regard, I think it's going to be a nice change. So El Paso High's theater is very nice. I love the red seats and the double-decker. It's really a cool theater to have it in. So we're going to try El Paso High this year, Friday, December 1st. And please, this next one, these are our submission recommendations. We cannot force you to do this, but we ask that the sponsors please watch the films the kids are turning in. We get so many films, unfortunately, that they're class projects. Let's just say they're class projects, and they're 25 seconds long, and they don't really meet the need of anything, but it's turned in as a class assignment, and then we're having to go through all the different things, and it just becomes more work than really it's worth. If you can kind of go through and those that kind of fit that bill, just don't enter them. That makes everybody's life a lot easier. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just sometimes the films just are not worthy of putting in a film fest. They're okay work, but they're just something that a kid just did maybe the night before, and it was for a project in school, not necessarily a film festival film. And this last bullet, we have a couple of campuses who turn in a lot of films. If the entire campus is participating, it is recommended that you host a film festival and submit your winner per grade level or per campus. Meaning that we have a couple of schools that they'll turn in 20, 30, 40 films, but like I said before, the sponsor and even the class didn't really watch them. They just did it as a class project or just an assignment and turned them all in. And we kind of want to get away from that if possible. That way we can eliminate some of the things that are just not really usable for a film fest. I think quality is much better than quantity, and I think most of us would agree with that. Just to go through some of our categories real quick, and we're actually about to wrap this up here in just probably about 10 minutes or less and answer a bunch of questions as we can. So our first category is animation. This does contain stop motion photography, claymation, cartoon animation, electronic animation, any other kind of animation you can see. And you can see all the lists of our animated films that won last year. So if you want to watch them, you're more than welcome to. You can go to our Film Fest channel or click on them or whatever you'd like and just kind of take a look. They're excellent, excellent examples of animation. The next one is our PSA commercial newscasts. We get quite a few of these in all the different grade levels. The PSAs, we have some really excellent PSAs every year, and so that's a popular one, especially amongst the high school, the PSAs and the commercials. Commercials are just wonderful for the language arts when they're doing persuasion and stuff. These are just commercial public service announcements and news videos. These videos are primarily nonfiction type of films. The actual news story, product, advertiser, or person, character talked about may also be fictional. So there again, there's a list of the PSA commercial newscast winners. Then our digital story and documentary. This is where you basically put all your movies. This is, like I said, a story, a digital movie, in other words, a documentary. These videos include non-fictional stories to document aspects of reality, primarily for the purpose of instruction or maintaining historical record. Fictional narrative film stories can include comedies, drama, action, mystery, and other fictional genres. Do not submit animated films in this category. That goes in the animation category. And like I said, this is usually our largest, just because it just fits all the basic movie categories, is digital story documentary. We have quite a few. And you can click on any of these links. Just to let you know, the Noblest of All Dogs by McGoffin, it won our Best of Show last year for our secondary division. So if that's a personal favorite of mine. She did an excellent job. It's a fun film to watch. And then our next one is movie trailer and book trailer. Movie trailer and book trailers, just like it says, are just trailers of each. A lot of elementaries love to use these and enter films to get their kids to be better readers and to basically retell what they've actually read. So we have some really good movie book trailers. Not to say that the secondary does not do a good job. The two that are listed here are excellent. I suggest to look at either one of the secondaries, The Secret Life of Beagles and Mafia Tree. Done excellent by both schools. And then our last category, and this is open this year, was just a secondary, but this year we're open at K through 12, is our music video. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think we had several entries, which I think was kind of a surprise. We were thinking we would have even less, truthfully, but we actually got entries from various school districts in this particular category, which was wonderful to see. On this particular category, we really want to stress that they have to have original lyrics and music, not just take some music from a popular song off the radio and then just change the words around. It has to be original lyrics and original music, both. So we suggest any combinations of instruments or items that are used to make noise. Dancing is always, and props are always encouraged, and they're allowed. So if the kids want to do a music video, go right ahead. They can go to town on it. Our middle school one, that's basically what he did, is he got a whole bunch of different things and made his music video. Came out pretty cute. So just to let you know about some of the awards, the elementary obviously doesn't really apply here, but just middle school. For middle school, so we just have our 6 through 8, and then our high school all competes against each other, 9 through 12. So we also have a best of show. So we have winners of each of the categories. So we'll have a winner of animation, winner of digital story documentary, winner of PSA newscast commercial, and then so on. But then we take the winners of each of those categories, and then we judge it for the best of show for secondary. And then we just kind of go through here. What are some of the options that teachers have or sponsors have? Many people have smartphones, so being able to videotape, take pictures, things like that, having all the different apps and programs. A lot of kids already have iPads, smartphones, things like that. I know a lot of the different high schools have film classes now over the last several years, so even all of those type of desktop programs are wonderful They make everything just so easy but look so professional as well. So any of these are available at most campuses. Here are some more just different apps and things like this, especially for the middle schools. I know middle schools have an abundance of iPads right now, so this is a perfect opportunity to use some of these. And then also just to give you some different type of resources. These are all free resources that can be used. That way all you have to do is don't have to worry about any kind of stealing from anybody or anything like that. So it makes it very, very simple. Any of these are free, like it says. They have great music, great media, great photos. Too many to really choose from, to be honest with you. The good thing is there's a lot to choose from. The bad thing is there's a lot to choose from, to be honest with you. So it could be anything, but try to give you some ideas of some free resources. So one of our last slides here, we're going to do some actual movie making sessions with the sponsors and the kids. If the students want to join in, they're more than welcome. We're going to go ahead and kind of make it centralized the best we can. And if you can make it, great. If you can't, great. Hopefully we can encourage the students to come. We had a couple of students session last year, and it was great to see the 10, 12 that showed up along with the sponsors. We had a great time. It's going to be October 10th at Chapin High School from 4:30 to 5:30, and October 12th at Chapin from 4:30 to 5:30. So there'll be two options that we figured we can give them plenty of different ideas, work with them, then they'll have a whole month to kind of get their product together, and we're available all the time to answer as many questions as you have. So it's a wonderful thing. It's fun. We all had a great time with the sponsors and the kids, so I can't imagine it being any different this year. And then last but not least, this is our website. So you can go here for any kind of information that you need. All the entry forms are there, all the winners, anything you can think of. We've tried to put on our website, and if you can't find it on our website, just email me. Mine is jdroach@episd.org, and we've also put a link for EPISD teachers so they can click on it and go to find their instructional technology specialist, who would be more than happy to work with their kids or even just with the sponsors. Just give us a call. We'll be more than welcome to come out. We know many of you by name, so I know you're not shy, and we're not shy either, so we'll get down and dirty with the kids and do what needs to be done and get some good products. Any questions so far? Hopefully, Miss Pines, we've been able to answer any questions. If Miss Valdez has any questions, you're more than welcome. And you can even unmute your mic now. We can kind of talk if we need to.
I'm pretty psyched about this. This sounds really cool. I think it's something that we really want to embrace in Cobra Tech. Great.
Well, thank you, Jane. I appreciate that, and I think those kids will do a great job, to be honest with you. The kids I work with today already seem, they're like, I think they're going to go home and try to finish their PSA tonight, to be honest with you, some of them.
And they haven't even written the script
exactly.
yet.
They don't even know what they're talking about, but they're going to come up with something for you tomorrow.
They're going to do it anyway.
Right?
That's fine. That we'll talk about revision then.
Right.
One question I do have, John, is, like I said, and maybe it wouldn't happen this year, but in the future, I could see if we develop these kids in 6th grade, they go on to 7th, and then they're working on something for science, something for social studies, something for one of their electives, and something for math. How do you tell them no if they're involved in 4 different projects?
As you mean, as turning a film for each one?
Yeah.
So what I would do is, we're back to the quote-unquote teacher or sponsor picking the best ones out, to be honest with you. Even if that kid, it's just limited 3 per child. So when it comes to a film fest, it's different than an assignment. So what I would suggest to that regard is more, you take the 4 or 5 different films, you kind of watch the short films and say, hey, these 3 would be great, let's move them on. These 2 need a little work. I don't think that's going to be acceptable. Because you're not going to have like 50 kids. You'll end up with,
well, if we do what I would imagine we're going to do, John, then what we'll end up doing is in mid-November having a small parent night, and then we'll ask people such as yourself to judge the videos to move on, kind of like we've done in the past for NHD,
Oh, yeah.
where we had a parent night, the kids competed, we had judges come in, and then the judges recommended the projects that went forward to NHD.
Right.
So maybe something of that nature.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that would be great, truthfully.
And I know I at least I see Karen on there. I see you.
Well, you can easily get us in the community involved. We would love to be a part of that. That would not be a problem.
Okay, because that's something I'm thinking about that's something I'm pulling together, and I think it's very timely. I do have a question about pad casting, but that might be more appropriate to ask you just personally, because I don't know exactly how to use the pad caster that my classroom was given, but I imagine it's something that if we learned how to use it, we could also incorporate it into what we're doing for the different PSAs and stories we're trying to tell digitally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Padcaster is an excellent device to film from. That'd be no problem. I can definitely work with you on that. So I believe Sharita that's one of the things that you guys had talked about doing for New Tech over there. So the two of us can tag team. That would definitely be wouldn't be a problem at all.
I would love to see that happen. We just have to make sure we have an iPad that actually fits in it and that it's up to date. And that's something that we're trying to work on this end.
Yeah, I think it'd be no problem.
Okay. All right. Well, those are my questions. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure, anytime. And you know where to reach me.
Oh yeah, I know. In my classroom most of the time. So I appreciate it. The kids really enjoyed you today.
Well, good. I enjoyed them. It was very fun. So if we don't have any more questions, I think we're going to be basically done with this. I appreciate your time and availability.
Thank you.